Hey guys, it's a really beautiful day out here at the beach in Da Nang, Vietnam. So I thought I'd make this video. It's been a while since I made a video. I mean a real video, not just a clip. And there seem to be a lot more people interested in coming to Vietnam lately. And so I think I should update the video that I made last, because quite a lot has changed actually. And so let me just quickly tell you what's changed since the last time. Well, there's a lot more foreigners here now than when I initially came here in 2015. 2015, you'd only see tourists here, and you can spot them a mile away. They sort of look confused and lost, and they're down at the beach mostly. And they have a way about them, lots of cameras and taking selfies, and the way they dress, you can spot a tourist a mile away. So there were a lot of tourists here, and then they would stay a couple of days and then leave. But that would only be seasonal as well, it wouldn't be all the time. And like I said, you mostly get them at the beach, not really anywhere else. And then APEC happened. Trump and them came to Da Nang, and Vietnam was sort of advertised on CNN and a whole bunch of other places. And suddenly Vietnam became this sort of go-to place for holidays and to work, and full of opportunities, and listed as one of the fastest growing developing countries in the world, blah blah blah, you name it, it was there. They put it out there for Americans, British dudes, Europeans. And so the influx started here, 2016. In 2016, no, actually 2016, no, 2017. Sorry, we're 2018 now. 2017, mid-2017, wow, the foreigners started pouring in here. And I don't mean just tourists, I mean people coming here to work, to live, and everything else. I mean, I cannot walk anywhere now without running into foreigners. They're everywhere. And that was never the case before. Of course, Zuma also happened in South Africa. And somehow South Africans found out about Vietnam. And South Africans that were all going to China before suddenly all started going to Vietnam. So now Vietnam is crawling with South Africans as well. They're pretty much everywhere. My first 2 years in Vietnam, well, my first year and a half in Vietnam, I maybe ran into like 2 South Africans. And then in the last 3 months, I've maybe run into like 40. Suddenly there's just this massive influx of South Africans. Now, in all the grand scheme of things, I mean, there's still a small percentage of foreigners here, so it's not like the city's overrun with them. I mean, they're still at the beach, and they're still crowded up in like 1 or 2 areas here, actually 1 area. If you go outside that area, you barely see them. I mean, I'm not saying that the city is overrun and it doesn't feel Vietnamese anymore. Of course it's Vietnam. And, you'll have like 8 million locals, and you'll have maybe a couple of tens of thousands of tourists. Let's say you have 50,000 people that are non-Vietnamese here. And these are not just white guys. These are Koreans and Japanese and everything else, Chinese. And then you'll have 8 million Vietnamese. So Vietnam is still by far the dominant force here. My point is just that things have changed because there's a lot more foreigners now. So the schooling system has changed a little bit. The salaries have changed. Pricing has changed a lot. I remember when I first came here in 2015, I was paying about 50,000 VND for a meal. And now I'm paying 150, maybe 200,000 for an average meal. Same meal. So I think the influx of foreigners have pushed up the prices a lot, but also only in certain areas. You go outside these areas, the prices pretty much drop to where they were before, because the locals don't get a lot of money. So a local meal would be anywhere from 10,000 to 40,000. I mean, that's just standard no matter where you go. The western areas, they've gotten very pricey. I mean, way more pricey than before. Way more pricey than before. So, with all of that out of the way, if you're still interested in coming to Vietnam, there's a lot of opportunity here. Like I said, it's one of the fastest growing countries in the world at the moment. And that's not going to stop for quite a few many years. I mean, the next 10, 20 years is going to be like this. So there's a lot of opportunity here, a lot of work, especially English teaching. So what are the procedures? How do you get here? What do you do? How do you find work? What type of work's available here? These are the things I just want to cover a little bit. I know I've covered them a little bit before, but I think I might go into a little bit more detail. I've been here more than 2 years now, so I pretty much know the system. I've worked at many schools. Hi. He's literally burying himself on the beach. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about how to get here. Well, I have made a visa video, so I'll try and make it quick and snappy. Tourist visa is one of the easiest ways to come into the country. You go onto a website, you need an invitation letter to get visa on arrival. So you go onto you search on Google, visa on arrival Vietnam, that's it. It'll take you to a website where you fill in your details, they send you an invitation letter, and you pretty much get on the plane, you land here at the airport, stamp your visa, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And you walk into the country. Very easy, very simple. Tourist visa lasts 90 days, and then every 3 months you can exit the country and re-enter the country. You cannot stay in the country forever. You have to exit and re-enter. But it's all very simple. Then of course you get the business visa, which is very much similar procedure to the tourist visa, but wow, so much more expensive. The nice thing about the business visa is that you don't have to exit the country to renew it. You can stay inside the country and renew. But it's very, very pricey. Like maybe 10 times the price of a tourist visa. And then of course you get the rest of the visas, work permit, spousal visa, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to go into those. Now, most people come here on the tourist visa because it's easy to get. It takes like 2 working days and you got your paperwork and you board a plane and you land, you come in here. No other paperwork required, no health checks, no bank statements, nothing. And so very easy to enter the country, at least for now. You know, China was also very easy to enter at one stage, and the same thing happened as is happening here now. Influx of foreigners, eventually they get fed up, start clamping down on visas, and then everything becomes very difficult after that. And I think in a couple of years time the same will be in Vietnam. Same thing will happen in Vietnam, but I think it's still quite a few years away from that. So for now it's easy. What's nice about Vietnam also is that it's almost in the center of Asia, really. I mean, not exactly in the center, but it's center-ish, you know. So you could live and work in Vietnam but visit other Asian countries on holidays or weekends, you know. You have a free weekend, you can pop over the border to Cambodia or to Laos or to Thailand. Thailand's only an hour's flight away. So you can go to Thailand for the weekend, or Laos or Cambodia. Hong Kong's also about an hour and a half away. So, you know, you can just pop to Hong Kong for the weekend. Korea is only like, what, 2 hours away. So you can hop on a plane to Korea for the weekend, you know. Taiwan, same thing. Japan, same thing. China, same thing. Malaysia, Singapore, yeah, all these countries are right here. They're all like located around Vietnam. So one of the nice things is that you can just pop over to any of these places on a weekend trip, or you know, you got a week open or whatever. and then just come back to Vietnam. You know, a lot of people do that when it's time to renew their visa and they have to exit the country. They will sort of just turn it into a little holiday and sort of have a holiday at the same time. They'll go to Korea for a week, or to Hong Kong for the weekend, or to Thailand for a week or whatever, you know, and then in the process renew the visa and come back. Anyway, so that's something that's really nice about Vietnam, is where it's located. You know, the situated so nicely that you can just pop anywhere for a holiday. Life here is cheap, mostly. If you're into eating only Western stuff and very Western culture stuff, you're gonna pay, of course. In any of the Asian countries, anything Western's much more expensive than anything local. But local stuff, if you start, you know, there are a couple of really nice local dishes. I still do eat Western food, but I also eat local food, so I mix and match it. That way I find a nice balance. I don't break my budget just eating Western food. So a lot of people here that I know do that. Anyway, I don't want to get into food. There's plenty of food videos. You can go online and search like a million of them. Anyway, I want to get onto schools. So, work. Everybody wants to know about work. Is there work available? What type of work? What qualifications do I need? What age group? Do I have to be a native English speaker? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, let's address that elephant in the room first. In native English speaking, I would say no. However, if you're not a native English speaker, your salary will be much, much, much lower. And you will find it much harder to find work. You're gonna have to shop a lot. You're gonna have to shop around a lot to find a school. Also, I think the non-native speakers have more luck in places like Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi than in Da Nang. A lot of them that I've come across, they kind of head down that way, because there's just a lot more work down there for non-native speakers. Anyway, so that's the non-native speakers. Wow, look at this. You see a lot of that on the beach. Nice. Now you know why I walk here. Anyway, that's a joke. Anyway, so non-native speakers, yes, you can find work, but your salary will be lower and you will have to shop. It's not just going to come to you on a silver plate. What about non-white people? Well, similar to non-native speakers, non-white people, salary will be lower. You will also have to shop, and you'll probably have better luck in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi than Da Nang. You know, Da Nang is sort of more the classier city, the more upper class kind of thing. And so these people are full of shit here. And just everything's a little bit more difficult. So, if you're native speaking and you are white, then this is probably the perfect city. You could find work here fairly easily. If you have blonde hair and blue eyes, wow man, this is heaven for you. You know, the Vietnamese, like most Asians, are not used to blonde hair, so it's something different for them. So if somebody has blonde hair, they automatically treat that person so much better. Everything's so much easier. Maybe I should dye my hair. Anyway, it does give you a slight advantage sometimes. If you're a prick, you're a prick, and nothing's going to change that. They don't like aggression, they don't like confrontation. These people don't like physical violence. So if you're one of those sort of like, I don't know, military type, or dudes with a bad temper, or just, I don't know, just aggressive in general, you're going to hate this place, man. And these people are not going to like you at all. Yeah, so let's see, how do you go about finding work in Vietnam? Well, I see some people trying to arrange work before they come. I would highly not recommend that, because one thing about Asia is they scam. They love scamming people. And there's nothing better than scamming a foreigner who's not even here yet. Take full advantage of him. You know, everything will be wrong. They will offer you the world, and when you get here, you won't even have a small piece of land to stand. You know what I mean? It's like they will send you photos of the nicest apartment they can find. You get here and they put you in this cockroach infested place full of mosquitoes with no hot water, no TV, the blah 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 blah. So you cannot trust them with any kind of deal. That's just Asia. So I would not recommend trying to find something beforehand. Definitely not. Most people find work here. When they're here, they'll go onto Facebook, they'll post that I'm looking for a job. Or the schools will post on Facebook and say, we're looking for teachers. And from what I've seen on Facebook and my own personal experience, is people find work within a few days. There's a lot of work here, a lot of schools, lots of people looking for English teachers. If you have a TEFL certificate, it's enough. You don't really need a degree. A degree would be a major advantage, especially if you want to get a work permit. But if you have a TEFL, you'll find work. And yeah, it's not so difficult. They use Facebook to recruit. So you'll see a lot of posts on Facebook. You know, I have an email list of about 20 odd schools that I've gathered. Every time somebody posts on Facebook that they're looking for a teacher, I jot down the email and put it on my list. That way, I have a list of schools that I know that do hire foreigners. And so when my friends come over, I usually give them this list, updated of course, and then they can sort of, you know, send their resume to this list, and these people will then, if any of these schools are looking for a teacher, they will obviously reply. And so far it's worked out quite well. Everybody that I've brought over so far has found work. No problems with that. And I think I brought about 13 people over, maybe 14, I'm not sure, kind of lost count. But yeah, it's really easy. Working here, well, that's okay. Let me tell you about my job. So I work roughly between 12 and 15 hours a week. I work 2 hours on a Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So 2 hours on a Tuesday, 2 hours on a Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I'm off most of Tuesday and most of Thursday. I just work 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm completely off. No work at all. Saturday and Sunday are my two busy days. I work 4 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon on a Saturday. So 6 hours on a Saturday. And then 4 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. So that's another 6 hours on Sunday. So that's 6 and 6, that's 12. That's 14, that's 16 hours. But I don't always work 6 hours on a weekend. Sometimes I work 4 hours on weekends. So that's why I said between about 12 and 15 or 12 and 16 hours a week. And that's my week. That's my working hours. Now, most people will work that kind of hours. You'll either work somewhere between about 10 and 20 hours a week. Some people work up to 30 hours a week. Different schools offer different hours. Some schools will hire full-time and obviously, you know, offer as many hours as you want. Some schools are part-time only, and they'll give you like 6 hours a week or 10 hours a week or 15 hours a week or whatever. So different schools offer different packages, and you know, the guys sometimes fill up their hours too. For example, tide's coming up. I've got shoes on, so I'm just avoiding the water. Yeah, tide's coming up now. The guys will sometimes, okay, put it this way. The schools that offer less hours usually pay more than the schools that offer more hours. So the schools that offer you as many hours as you want, they usually pay between about $14 and $16 an hour. Or maybe about $12 and $16 an hour, sorry. Let's put it that way. With about 14, 15 being average. But they will offer you as many hours as you want. You want to work 100 hours? They can give it to you. The schools that can't offer you as many hours as you want, they will pay higher salaries. So for example, they'll offer you 6 hours a week, but they'll pay you $20 an hour, which is nice, but at the end of the day, you're still short on hours. So this forces you to go and find a second school. So what happens is, a lot of the guys here chasing the money will often take the higher salary, but work at, say, 2 or 3 different schools. Work at 2 or 3 different schools at, $18 or $20 an hour, whatever. Some of the other guys that have been here a while and aren't really saving, they're just enjoying life, will, work at the schools that offer more hours and might be slightly less pay, but, there's not the rushing around between different schools and all of that crap that come with it. The bigger schools are more stable as well, so long term, you're not going to run out of any classes or hours or anything like that. Anyway, so different strokes for different folks, but either way, there's lots of work here, and they usually require you to do a demo before they hire you. That's pretty much, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I mean, I've made videos on this before, so I don't want to go into great detail on a specific subject. Because apart from my videos, there's other videos as well. The most important thing is how to get into the country, and that's easy. And then finding work, that's also easy. There's a lot of Facebook groups. Just search your city in Vietnam. Da Nang, Dalat, Nha Trang, Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, Hanoi, Hoi An, wherever you are, or wherever you decide to go. I know, my videos are based on Da Nang because I'm in Da Nang, but there are a lot of beautiful cities here. A lot of beautiful cities. Vietnam is not as small as most people think it is. It's quite big. And, you take the train from Hanoi down to Saigon. It's like a 48-hour train. That's how big the country is. I mean, it's small in width, but very big in length. So it's quite big. And there are many cities, and all of them are employing English teachers. So if you're not lucky in the one, just try another. I mean, there's lots of cities. Traveling here is very cheap, dirt cheap. So for you to travel from one city to another is nothing. It's like pocket change. I wouldn't worry about work too much. I know everybody worries about, am I going to find work? What am I going to do for money there? If you want to teach English and you have a TEFL certificate, I mean, you'll find work. It doesn't matter where. At Da Nang, you should find work easily. But if you don't, try another city. Maybe you don't even like Da Nang. To me, it's the most beautiful of all the cities. So, but different strokes for different folks. Some people like the faster-paced lifestyle, more nightclubs, that kind of stuff, and so they'll prefer Saigon. Some people love the whole flowery thing. There's a city called Dalat, which is the flower bed of Vietnam. Just flowers everywhere. The whole city's covered with them. So some people might like that city. Then, of course, there's Nha Trang, which is where pretty much all the Russians are. It's actually a lot like Da Nang, but a couple of years behind. But it's kind of like the Russian hub of Vietnam. So if you get along with a lot of Russian people, you might actually like Nha Trang. It's different strokes for different folks. But either way, it's a beautiful country, very diverse country, and there's lots of work here. Definitely lots of work. Easy to find jobs. I would recommend anybody coming over, bring with you enough money to last maybe 2 or 3 months. so that when you first get here, you don't have to start working right away. You can take maybe like a month break and just enjoy yourself. And then, after like maybe enjoying yourself for a month, maybe then start looking for work. And after that, it's easy. And then you still got enough money for another 2 months after that. So even when you start working, you still have some money saved, That would be my recommendation. Anyway, bitch alert here behind me. You see quite a lot of them too. They walk around here like they're entitled. I don't know. This is white girls that come here, man. This is why they don't easily find, I don't know what the hell they're looking for, but there's a lot of that. You want to know why foreign guys go for local girls and not foreign girls? Because you guys come here with that kind of attitude, that like, I'm a fucking bitch kind of. Don't even greet, they just walk right past you. Don't say hello, don't smile, fuck all. But walk past a local person, they all smile. Anyway, the foreign girls can learn a lot from these local girls. It's a pity that it's usually the other way around. Anyway, Vietnam's a beautiful country. It's easy to find work here. It's a nice lifestyle, nice way to live. I would recommend Vietnam to anybody. And of course, the fact is that, it's also your foot into other places. For example, there are places like China that pay much more a month. So if money is your thing, but you don't have a lot to start off with, you might want to come to Vietnam and work here for a couple of months, save some money, and then hop over into China, or hop over into Korea, or hop over into Cambodia, or Thailand, or Taiwan, or Japan, or wherever. If Vietnam is not the place that you want to be, you could use it as a slingshot into wherever you want to go. I know a lot of people that do that as well. However, I must say, Vietnam is one of those places where people come here and they never leave. Easy to understand why. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Low cost living, virtually crime free. I mean, what more could a person ask for? So that is the end of the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And so my advice would be, if you come here, be nice, be friendly. Don't be like those two bitches that just walk past me, and there's a ton of them here. These are friendly people, the Vietnamese. They're very friendly people, and they love friendliness. I mean, look at that guy, just greeted me. He's on a motorbike. He greeted me. This is how this country is. They'll smile, they'll greet, they're nice. You have to also be careful, they'll scam you too sometimes. But in general, they're very nice, they're very friendly. I've been to like other places like China where they just are not friendly, so I know what not friendly looks like. Most people don't know what not friendly looks like, and so they don't appreciate the friendliness. Anyway, I'll make some more videos in due time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Cheers.